Hello, interghost here, and today I'm doing the finisher, and today's game is Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Switch. Yeah, so we've got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. This is a remake of the Nintendo Wii U game. It's exactly the same game, but they've added a new character. But before I go into that, I'll tell you what the game's all about. Now, basically, if you've played Donkey Kong Country game on either the Super Nintendo or the Wii in the past, you'll know what this game is. It's a platform game. They're known for being pretty brutal and hard. The graphics sort of point to sort of a false security that the game is for kids. It's very colourful, the music is amazing, and it just looks like a cartoon platformer like Mario. First few levels, yeah, you'll probably get through quite easily, but after that this game just ramps it up and it is a rock solid platformer game. Like I said, it was on the Wii U, and I think the reason they've re-released this game and some other games on the Switch recently is because the Wii U didn't really sell as much as they thought it was going to, and the Switch sales have gone through the roof. So they're re-releasing some of these games for people who enjoyed them in the past, and also for people who didn't have a chance to play them on the Wii U. And I think that's a really good idea. I bought this one. I had it on the Wii U, and I've sold on the Wii U version to get this one. They have included Funky Kong in this new release, which is basically I was going to say cheat, but it's like an easier way to play the game. If you choose Funky Kong at the start of the game, you get 3 lives instead of 2, so it makes dying harder. And also, if you use the Funky Kong character, he has a surfboard which can skim over the top of spikes. It makes it sound like it makes the game too simple, but it's still a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of instant deaths in this game. You can fall off edges of things, you can still get hit by enemies if you jump in the wrong place, but you just got more of a chance. Being a glutton for punishment, I stuck to the normal game. Now, this game is one of those games which really made me rage. It is so frustrating. It's one of those games where the save points in the level, like like the mid-level markers, they're very spaced out, and to get to each one is you're on the edge of your seat. I mean, you keep getting to the same bit every time, and the same thing will kill you over and over again. And it's it's like a pattern memory type thing. And there's so many times where I got to a part in the level where you have to go through sort of like 5 minutes of fast-paced platforming, dodging all these things, and just to get hit by this same thing, and it'll send you back to where your last marker was. And yeah, you go into a level with like 60 lives, and they just go down and down and down, and you end up coming out of level with like 30, and you're just yeah, it's just crazy hard. But the reason the reason I didn't complete it on the Wii U is because it stressed me out so much. I would never do more than one world at a time. I'd probably do a couple of levels and then I'd stop, to stop me getting so stressed out over it. And I think I got to, there's 6 worlds in the game, and I think on the Wii U I got to world 5 before I moved on and played other games. This one, as soon as I got to world 5, I said, right, that's it, I'm going to complete this. So I did world 5, world 6, straight after each other. But I will admit, I got to the final boss in the game, and he is an arse, and he was killing me every time. And it's one of those things where, like I said, you keep playing the boss level, you go in and you start from the start of the boss, you hit him several times, you learn his patterns, and after you hit him a few times, his pattern changes, and then you have to learn that pattern, and his pattern changes again, you have to learn that pattern. But if you get hit twice, you go right back to the start of fighting him again, and then you have to go through that whole stressful each section of beating him. And in the end I kept getting to the bit where you have to do one more hit on him, and he sort of charges backwards and forwards, and you have to jump on his back, but he wears like a spiky Viking helmet, and if you jump at the wrong time it just hits you. Like I said, 2 hits is not very much. And yeah, I did rage quit at one point and said, right, I'm not doing this anymore. Gave it a day, went back to it, and I finally beat him. And yeah, there's loads of secrets. You can go back. There's replayability if you want. If you're a glutton for punishment, you want to go back to the levels. There's different routes you can go. There's hundreds and hundreds of secret areas in the game, and here's one I'm going to go back to and try and get, probably on the easier levels. All the bananas, all the secrets. You get puzzle pieces in which you have to find, which are hidden. You get Kong letters, K-O-N-G, which you have to find in each level. Yeah, and it's just really good fun. Also, you've got 3 of your family in there. You've got Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, and Cranky Kong, or who all have sort of special abilities. Dixie, she can do like a propeller thing with her hair, so you can float. Diddy Kong has booster packs, which help you to sort of swoop and fly, and Cranky Kong does sort of like a DuckTales move where he can bounce up and down on his his walking stick, I think, and you can bounce over spikes. So they're all in there. I always used to use Dixie. I think she has the best sort of ability, and yeah, it's just a really good game. Highly recommend it. The music in it is beautiful. Donkey Kong Country games have probably got the best music on Nintendo games so far. I still like the Super Nintendo music the best, but they do a lot of throwback to the Super Nintendo as well, music wise as well, like when you're underwater and that sort of thing. I would highly recommend you play this game. Probably not for the weak-hearted. If you're not very good at platform games, probably steer clear of this one. I'm really don't want to say that because I don't want to put people off, but if you get frustrated with platform games, you're not going to like this game. You can play it in 2-player, although I think playing in 2-player makes the game even harder, because one person controls Donkey Kong, one person controls like Diddy or Dixie or Cranky. But when you're in levels where you have to precisely duck, jump, and you're trying to speak to the other player to do the same things which you're doing, and you've got split second decisions, it's not really the best thing to do. Oh yeah, I was going to speak about, there's also levels in it where you ride in a minecart, which I really enjoy, but there are some levels in this where you ride in a barrel and you press it's like a rocket barrel, it's got a thruster on the back, and you have to keep tapping the button to make the barrel go up, and if you let go of the thrust button it drops down. And those levels are just, they had me pulling my hair out. You have to sort of, the way it moves, it sort of jerks up like that, and then it'll drop, and then you have to boost up and then drop, and you have all these items flying at you, and you have to learn where these things are coming from so that you don't hit them. Those levels are just mean, they are just horrible. But yeah, so that's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Switch. You can get it on the Wii U as well. Same game, and yeah, I'd highly recommend it. Thanks for watching, and I'll do another finisher episode soon. Cheers.